shawa anibung kasha jonasi ichua byongbo joni minamambato mule ra hakugri katgoda parabola shatika don mulaka wata yumaka wamahona nek ashantitun unumani patoka kakin cha na kwat na bonkon wanakumbes chi pala mulak tongki pa nagnonek Tonga boksha nagnong Nikin kun na bule mule raji kun Shuni yun ni jiji aldwana Kavafol pa muli kumana Ni bajoni yo lak wish Dopayuma pasen lapti non goto Bugra shak kunti chiwa unchawa Dong abuk shami no nok.
Master, there you are. I have waited and waited patiently in your quarters for you to perform much-needed maintenance on my strained joints. Oh, I see the Sith has awakened. Master, why is she not restrained?
This is SOZ-3, my supposed assistant. I call him Verbal for short.
Mucho shakapaka.
Master, the Sith is of secondary importance. I am your primary concern. Perform the promised maintenance. I will accept no further excuses.
Don't have time. Gotta see the captain. You're welcome to come, just keep the complaining to a minimum.
Master, every day you discover new ways to disappoint me. Oh dear.
What's wrong with you? Why did you just shoot my droid in the face? When he's at the Juma, he's pretty wild and pretty unpredictable. You should just stay away from him until he sobers up. Actually, just stay away from him, period.
Kipuna na bonsha.
Most here won't judge you on what you were, but on what you can become. If you stay true to your oaths, you can fit in here. No doubt about it. This one is different, I think. Not a monster like Revan or Malak, but just someone who's made a few bad decisions when choosing who to follow. Everyone makes mistakes. It's just our nature.
Chinga pala multonki.
Not before you repair my droid. If you start now, there's a chance you could finish in time to get some sleep tomorrow night instead. We can waste time with Mechanique later. The captain awaits us.
Choni yun tun Gigi ida dwana. Kava vulpa mulji domana.
Runda di hodonga kun hunkabi.
Lucky you. Damn it.
Yikukuno no ba mulira chikun. Mucho shakpakat. Kavadum ku pelio botenya. Bonanai kuchu.
Slimjo puanwan dwana.
Jedabadawana ni dibobo. Dong nabungsha nununya. Dong patukashmak talea. Tongking ba nunotek. Tugnin chatukune mulerabes.
Hakuchikopa, Slimjo puanwan dwana.
Kachichu ay thaudonga, tulpada bonk molya gando danago churchut.
Minamambato mule ra.
Moga shampungpa.
Coded messages from orbit and from Korriban. Some sort of conflict is brewing. They're on full battle alert against what they won't say. The threat is serious. Everyone is on edge. Executions for infractions are commonplace here. The Sith Master said something about a disturbance in the Force. How do I prepare for that? The Sith don't tolerate any failure. Signing off.
Yinkin kuno ba mulirachi kun.
Rundi ichawa tongbola Johnny Gu. Yumawamanibo Lora Waisha Waga Shichi.
Chibedwana ni bobo. Donk nabung shanun yang.
Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayumas pasen lapti non goto. Yumawamanibo Lora Waisha Waga Shichi.
Bamuleslik mo poda na wanga kun bist mulira best.
Hakuji kopa? Slim jo puan dwana?
Hakuji kopa?
Yikukuno no ba mulira jikun. Tonghit kun chonching. Mucho shak pakat. Kieno no namapaule rachikun. Jedabadwana ni dibobo. Tong nabung sha nununya. Tong patukashmak talea.
Chibedwana ni bobo. Donk nabung shanun yang.
Chi itakangi changa kilikon. Kon mulis limo poi wanga kun biskin.
Takum justak miki grabel mogo. Kachi chu ay donga. Tulpada bonk molya gando danago churchut. Yinkin kuno ba mulirachi kun. Tong nabun shanyunyang. Kavavol pa mulchi kamana. Moga shampongpa bolawana chikni. Bamuleslik mo poda na wanga kun bist mulira best. Kachi chu ay donga. Tulpada bonk molya gando danago churchut.
We received more equipment and more men today. The equipment went straight inside the tomb. As usual, I have no idea what it contained. We don't know why we're here. A bleak assignment. We're expecting more Sith to arrive any day. When I asked for details, he said it was a surprise. Well, what does that even mean? Signing off.
Jedabadwana ni dibobo. Tong nabung sha nununya. Tong patukashmak talea.
Kigrabel mogo. Kachi chu ay donga. Tulpada bonk molya gando danago churchut.
Ne boboje mata ne punage. Dolpi kikiuana.
Moga shampongpa bolawana chikni. Bamuleslik mo poda na wanga kun bist mulira best.
Musha papumpa bolawana chikne. Bamulislemo poda wanga kun best mulira best.
Not before you repair my droid.
Uba batu konchi. Tong nongbong shang yung yang. Tong patok smaktelia.
The captain awaits us.
Captain, in the interest of safety, I am required to perform an identity check on each trooper who passes beyond this point.
Allow me to introduce myself. I am Mythos Hunt. Look forward to working with you to finalize the details of our agreement.
Captain, I'm not the one you should be speaking with if you're seeking access to the excavation site. I'm just a grunt. But the order itself comes from a Sith Master, Excellent Rar.
Are we in agreement on who should be the one responsible for heading this venture?
He said don't ask. Captain.
Was there anything more boring than being out on patrol? Oh, I guess I shouldn't complain.
I have many pressing matters that require my attention.
You are strong, child. But I will break you.
I'll never fall to the dark side. You think torture will turn me, Malak? You're a fool.
Torture? No, dear Bastila. You misunderstand. This is but a taste of the dark side to whet your appetite. When you finally swear loyalty to me, it will be willingly.
Never.
Such resolve in your words, but I see the truth in your heart. The dark side calls to you, Bastila. You hunger to taste it. Become my apprentice, and all its power can be yours.
Captain, I don't know what it is down here that is so damned important, but if they don't hurry up and finish that excavation, I think I'm going to desert. I asked one of those Dark Jedi what exactly it is we were excavating here. He said, don't ask. What is it with those guys?
Who are you? How did you manage to get in here?
We Sith are not all temples and rituals, Administrator. We have our ways. No.
No, of course. The droids could not stop them.
Interest me, Administrator. What do you want?
I am Mythos Hunt. As you know, I have intentions to make a significant financial contribution to the project.
Accident Ra is too busy with his excavation.
Our negotiations are nearly finished.
Then leave me be. I must continue with my work. You're not a Sith Administrator. It was not a request, it was a statement.
When all of the details of this operation are finalized, I can at last begin my work.
You cannot manipulate me with your lies, Administrator. Know that your chances for accomplishing either are futile. Do not waste my time.
Forgive me, but Lord Malak...
I have more important things to do than to talk with the likes of you.
And I am pleased that we are in total agreement.
Do you think...
It seems your eye for good business matches your skills in the battlefield.
Forgive me, but...
Now, if I can show you the door, our negotiations are now complete, and I have many pressing matters that require my attention.
Captain.
I grow so bored with slaughtering these mindless training droids. How can mere droids be a match for the Jedi?
I'm sure they will be of great use to us. Now, I believe we should begin.
You're free to enter the excavation site.
And now, as per my part of the agreement, here's a datapad containing all of the bank accounts I have stolen from Zerga. Excellent. Moving on.
Guarding this excavation site isn't exactly what I had in mind when I joined the Sith.
I guess I shouldn't complain.
Open fire!
Lord Malak, every day the Star Forge adds more ships to our fleet. It is operating at nearly 300% of our projections. The fleet is assembling around the Star Forge and awaits your instructions.
My new apprentice is nearly ready. Once Bastila joins her battle meditation to our enormous fleet, we shall be invincible. Then we shall begin our final conquest of the core worlds, and the Republic will be crushed forever.
As you wish, Lord Malak.
Why have you disturbed me?
Forgive me, but I have news, Lord Malak.
Did my droids pass their test? Did they destroy our enemies?
No, Lord Malak. The droids could not stop them.
Who could survive an attack by the Starforge's battle droids? I am curious to see the true extent of this space station's capabilities.
Do you think they can stop Jedi?
Of course not. The Jedi will make an interesting test subject.
You summoned us, Lord Malak.
What do you command of me, Master? I must select a new successor to be my apprentice.
And Accident-Ra of the Korriban Academy was murdered as he toiled in his excavations.
Strange. You are eager for blood, as am I.
Accident-Ra shall be avenged.
Malak earned the title of Dark Lord by defeating his old master. And now I will become Malak's new apprentice by doing the same.
Perhaps you will triumph, but even if you fail, you three are the strongest. One of you will have the honor of becoming my new apprentice.
We will not fail you, Master.
Administrator.
Lord Malak.
You are the one who ordered Accident-Ra's assassination, Administrator.
No, Lord Malak.
And I have come here to make you answer for his death with your own blood.
Lord Malak, do you think...
Yes, that would explain why the droids failed.
I was one of the first who joined your cause.
Of all the Dark Jedi that have sworn allegiance to me...
Lord Malak, forgive me.
Very well. You shall have your wish. Whichever one of you deals the killing blow will become my new apprentice, if you prove yourself worthy.
Prepare to meet your end.
At last, a challenge worthy of my skills. I intensified my training tenfold in hopes I would get the chance to face you in mortal combat. Destroy them. Destroy them all.
Acknowledgement. Droid efficiency at its best.
You are an insignificant speck beneath my notice.
I am glad to see my training has not been in vain.
You are stronger than I thought. You'll be a far greater asset to me than even Bastila and her battle meditation. But you were a fool. All you ever imagined was an infinite fleet rolling forth to crush the Republic. You are blind and stupid. If only you had been the one to uncover the true power of the Starforge, then I could break your will and bind you to me as my apprentice, as I did Bastila.
Lord Malak.
Perhaps you are too powerful to be my apprentice. I betrayed you. In time, you might try to do the same to me.
Revan, Lord Malak?
I saw my opportunity and seized it. You had no idea of the power within this place. Its very walls are alive with dark side energies. I have unleashed the full potential of this Rakatan factory. It is like a living creature. It hungers, and it can feed on the dark side, and transfers the dark taint to me.
Wana kuna best chinga pala multonki. Hako jinkopa? Jino mularak kampiak slimjo puanwandwana? Watawama muliri no bamule raji. Ah!
Sarah!
Kun kili no ba!
Sarah, you're dreaming.
Kuyami.
The fool is dead.
You underestimate the power of the Starforge's droid army.
With each passing moment, your old apprentice becomes stronger, Master.
I cannot deny your resilience. You escaped the destruction of Taris, despite all my efforts.
I knew you weren't about to give up.
This is not unexpected. The Jedi are formidable opponents.
I am a Sith apprentice now. I have seen the Jedi for what they are, weak and afraid. The Sith are the true masters of the Force. Here on the Starforge, the power of the dark side is at its strongest. Sadly, I know this is true. The dark side has made me stronger than I ever was before. I have a greater command of the Force than all but the most powerful Jedi Masters. Eventually, there'll be no limit to what I can accomplish with the Force.
The Starforge fuels my command of the dark side. Your power feeding me as I conquer the galaxy.
The time for words is done.
The darkness and the light wage a constant war within you. Very well.
Captain, I'm afraid we have lost contact with some of the troopers who were patrolling the excavation site.
Both Zerka and the Sith themselves are...
No, Captain. I didn't mean to accuse you. It's just that the door is locked. Here is the keycard you will need to unlock it. Captain, I don't need to see your identification.
Welcome. Your arrival here has been scheduled, but I cannot comment on the details of the incident at the present time. However, I can assure you that Zerka Corporation is actively working to resolve the incident as soon as possible. Thank you. Your identities have now been confirmed. The administrator will see you now.
Given the situation here, have you decided to agree to my terms?
Rundi hautonga tonkimba nankongek. Wana kumbes chimpayamul kunhunkabi. Tuknen tangjo kunne mulirabest.
So they are hardly going to waste resources on any investigation. As with most of your organization's operations, this one will be hidden behind a front organization.
kawanabota awiyat tagwa kankidora. Chilomurabi ni bobo. Wonga kumbistang bamulera.
No, that wasn't what we suggested in previous negotiations.
Torpada wunkwaya da naga chuchut. Moga shampumpa boyawana chikni.
Achuta, wonga kun bistol piking kunyana, tongpatogas magdelia.
Damon Drexel, I am very willing to cooperate with you. I have nothing but contempt for the administration here, and have no qualms about betraying them.
Yinkin kunoba mulira chinkun. Tongait tunkun ching, ni boboji mata, ni punaje.
I have nothing but respect for you, Drexel, and look forward to working with you to finalize the details of our agreement.
Rundi hautonga tonkimba nankongek. Wana kumbes chimpayamuri kunhunkabi.
King kun shachi king, ni king kun oba mulira jikun?
Labola na winkis matoma. Yinkin slimo podona mulera chikun. Nova rundi hautonga kuhunkabi. Tachi chonai hautonga. Taukum justak nike grabil mogo. Torpada wunkwaya da naga chuchut. Moga shampumpa boyawana chikni.
Indeed, my years of experience will make me more than qualified to handle the operation.
Kavatumpa kupa iya botenya. Kakinchana kokbakon.
In prior negotiations, we'd discussed the type of operation that your organization would be willing to establish here. Now that you have had some time to consider your options, do you feel the business I suggested would be the most suitable to pursue?
Chiskamicho. Yinkin konobamure rachikun tognabung shanunjang. Kavavulpa murje kumana.
Excellent! Our negotiations are now complete, and I am pleased that we are in total agreement. It seems your eye for good business matches your skills in the battlefield, Drexel.
Wamakunbes, Jimpalamuji.
Greetings. If you haven't heard, there's some trouble over at the Academy. A power struggle, most likely.
You managed to somehow defy the system and meet with the administrator.
Have you decided to agree to my terms?
You are correct in your assumption.
We may even have to abandon the planet completely.
We look forward to your demonstration.
Ina kun mama rulira rachikun, slimo padona, rundi hadonga chihonkabi. Muksha papangpa, bola wana chikne. Bamuli slemo, boda wanga kun bes mulira rabes. La boda ni winkis maktoma. Wana kun bes chingpa marulira, tok chingbang non kek.
Have you decided to agree to my terms?
We shouldn't keep him waiting.
Chiska du suki kumpa nabona naikachu, agtuinkotu. Topada bunkwalya gandonago chuchut. Kabachi kuita hodonga. Yalamo inkapun.
I'm relieved to hear that you have chosen to implement my suggestion. Damon Drexel, allow me to introduce myself. I am Mythos Hunt.
Kavatumpa kun palya mokata. Wanga kun bis king ba mulira. Kakincha na kwag ba kun.
Excellent. Oh, sure, for you maybe.
Yinkin kunoba mulira chinkun. Tongait tun kun ching. Ni boboji mata. Ni punaje. Dolpi kiknyunyan.
I want some insurance in case things don't go our way.
Wanga kun bis dolpi king kunyana. tong patogas magtelia.
Sarah Dagana is a Dark Jedi, but not just an ordinary Dark Jedi. There's something special about her, isn't there?
Niking kuno ba mulira jikun? Wamakunbes, chinpalamuji.
Pretty clever, huh?
No, you fools! You can't do this!
Let me put it to you this way. I swear, if Darth Revan knew the types of crowds you were hanging around with these days...
Wait.
The same Revan who defeated the Mandalorians? Who betrayed the Republic and created the Sith Empire?
Dong abuk shami nonok.
I figured it was all over. What if this time it's even worse? Trust me, you don't want to know.
No, please! You can't do this! I cannot die like this! I'm too important!
But then he came. Still, you aren't exactly what I'd call a divine crusader.
Wangakun pistol piking kunyana.
Guards! Guards! Get in here!
Oh, so it's like that, is it?
Kill Damon Drexel! Kill Damon Drexel!
Potaka chibintano, vereka chocha heremba, soborama hotawatakan.
What do you mean you can't kill Damon Drexel?
Gavadumpa munsuru kuplaliyawa.
He is trying to kill me! No!
Wamakunbes, chinpalamuji.
Jiska du sukikuba na bona na kachu, tuin kotu. Topa da bunkwalya gandonago chuchut.
Kuyami juz kachita, naipatoga ya fulki kukula jiti.
Kuyami juz kuna chitanai. Ina kun mama rulira rachikun, slimo padona. Rundi hadonga chihonkabi.
Chachiska don punta kasabubaka.
Yikukumo no ba mulira chikun. Tonghit kun chonching.
Wanga kun pistol piking kunyana. Tong patogas magtelia.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Rundi hadonga kuhungabi. Wana kunbes. Chink palamul tong kimba na konge. Mucha shak pangpa. Inkin kun no ba mulri rachikun.
Master. I will go now.
Bunana chaku. Ikun kono bule marachiko.
I hope I won't regret it.
Kawanabota ayuat. Tagwa tankibora.
Kavadumpa ku palia mukapata.
Gavadumpa munsuru kuplaliyawa.
What are you talking about? Master!
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Things were never going to be that easy.
Why did you do that? You killed my master! I'm so sorry, Master.
Gavadumpa munsuru kuplaliyawa. Bo bagaragawanda yaitua ulwanjiuma.
My master.
Ebawatuneruta.
Rachikun.
Jashank pogra hulwan chiska nichu. Achuba chiska wanki. Niponaje.
I'll do just that. Thank you.
Gavadumpa munsuru kuplaliyawa. Bo bagaragawanda yaitua ulwanjiuma.
And thank you for giving me a chance.
Kachichu aitha hodunga. Inkin kuno ba mulira chikun. Slima podonna.
Grabe chusay krengi witi hong doga.
Yikukumo no ba mulira chikun. Tonghit kun chonching.
We don't sakrate rotota de jalawara kun sazoto.
Achuta. Wonga kun bistolpi kikuyana.
Chachiska. Topa na oto vokasa.
Tok ching bano kunik. Kavadompa ku peliano momakata.
Pichage borang turang. Nada chawa yishun kun.
Manaman atota. Hakijukrata bola shui tungatong.
Nada chawa yishun kun. No ba mulirati lai kunka. Chesko yohaba kaba no pi do ula.
From there, brava, Nikati Shosan.
Natipon ng kudu jijiba.
Muksha papangpa pola wana chikne. Pamuli slemo poda wanga kun bes mulira rabest.
Chiwa aita kang ki jiyokaku.
Uba batu konchi. Tong nongbong shang yung yang. Tong patok smaktelia.
Tok ching banokunik. Kavadompa ku peliano momakata.
It's just a machine. Machines can be broken.
Kakincha nawabakaon.
Ka ching chana nawagabakon. Kavadompa ku pelian bonantea. Ke puna. Bunanai chatu.
The shuttle me and my master used to get here is still... Yes, that should be all of it. Listen carefully while I explain what to do so you can transfer it to that droid you mentioned.
Tong haitwam jiji jumblumpa. Nita poe tikito.
I would.
Jawana bota ayuat tahonga cha kanki dora. Kachi kuita hodonga.
Master, could I?
Dolpi kikiuana. Ne boboje mata de punage.
Of course.
This dust plays havoc with my motivators. This dust plays havoc with my motivators.
I'm so shutting you down.
Slimo padona. Mundi hodonga chihonkabi.
I'm programmed to understand 600 languages. I'm programmed to understand 600 languages. I'm programmed. This dust plays havoc with my This dust.
That stupid droid has a name. He's called
I'm programmed to
Mechanique. You just gave me an idea.
I'm programmed to understand 600 languages.
Achuta. Wonga kun bis dolpi kikuyana. Dong patugas maktelea. Wonga kun bis king balemuraya.
Mule brabast.
Kinchun shishineng. Kava volpa mulji kumuna.
Jishawa anibong kasha chonasi ichua byongbo joni. Minamambato mule ra.
Chi gratu loda pograshi onion kompa chintono muchuba. Loda nita kun.
Kava volpa mulji gumana?
Hakupa che kopa. Gino mulera kenpaija.
Slimjo puanwandwana?
Ta kumjus tak miki grabulmogo. Kachichu ita bodunga. Tong haitwam jiji jumblumpa. Dolpa da bonkwaleo gandona chuchut.
Chinga pala multonki.
Wonga kun bis dolpi kikoyana. Achuta dong patugas maktelia.
Unless my photoreceptors are malfunctioning, this doesn't look like a very pleasant place to be imprisoned in.
And done.
Verbal.
Master, there you are.
Muksha papangpa pola wana chikne.
I'm not interested in anything you have to say, Orion Mechanic. I will take your account to my behavior core.
That's much better. About time I got some space to move around a little.
My sensors indicate that your temperature has rose and your heart rate has quickened. Are you suffering from claustrophobia? Master, when will you ever learn?
So what is our next move? Where do we go from here?
If the data gathered by my sensors is accurate, the precise location of this entity is within the vicinity of our present location.
I believe Mechanique is close to completing its scan. It shouldn't be long now before we find it.
I have insufficient data to perform an analysis.
That should be all of it. You can track the frequency now. Me and my master had a small ship.
For a mechanic, you do an awful lot of thinking.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, my sensors have been unable to operate at an optimum efficiency for the duration of the scan. Feedback indicates that this interference has been caused by an electrical disturbance.
Yes, I know of those transmissions. We'll deal with that when we get there.
The power of the dark side can be alluring. As Malak teaches me the greatest secrets of the Sith, I will unlock more of my potential. Remember that Revan and Malak were once great Jedi, heroes in every sense of the word. And that is why the dark side is so insidious. If you are not careful, you do not even see each small step you take towards it until it's too late. The path of the light is a difficult one to walk. Revan's end was unforeseen. Our mission was to capture Revan if possible. It was Malak who turned on his own master, firing upon Revan's ship while we were still on board it. It was his desire to kill us and his master both. And what was the cost? Thankfully, we narrowly escaped the vessel as it exploded. You were a special case. The Council had no other choice. They needed you alive so they could discover the location of the Star Forge. What greater weapon is there than to turn an enemy to your cause, to use their own knowledge against them? It's true I possess feelings for you, but was it only an illusion brought about by our bond? In protecting you, I fell to the dark side myself. That bond is what took me down this path to begin with. It poisoned me. I hated myself for loving you, and now I have betrayed everything. I knew you'd come for me. Malak felt it too. Had you reclaimed the power of your previous identity, I would be your apprentice, not Malak's. But how would you be able to trust me? How do you know I wouldn't turn on you when you faced Darth Malak? How do you know the dark side wouldn't make me betray you again? You will go on to defeat Malak. Of this I have little doubt. He will have gone from being the Sith Lord himself to the savior of our galaxy. You are brave, and some would say foolish. But you were also right. The dark side has not wholly consumed me. Malak knew how I felt. Any part of the light that was within me would be extinguished when I killed you. There is too much anger inside me now, too much hatred and fear. I can no longer find peace in the Force. Will there be a place for me in your future? Do you love me? Malak awaits. This isn't over yet, for any of us.
Wait here for my old master. It will give me the time I need to complete my preparations of the station's defenses.
Gino mulira king pajak.
Muchashak pakat.
Delia.
Chaskronki to patslimo. Chopa chawa wisyun kun.
What do you mean?
Kinbanik chalora kun.
I don't suppose it's too much to ask why. Nah, of course it is.
Gino mulirani bubo tonking ba.
Just come find me when you're done. I'll be in my quarters. Or maybe I'll just come and find you.
Kakin chana guana pakon.
Tava! Yun patisa!
Ronda di hotonga kun hankabi.
Slimjo puanwan duana?
Yikukuno no ba mulira tikun. Muchashak pakat. Kavadum ku pelio botenya. Bonanai kuchu. Jedabadawana ni dibobo. Tong nabungsha nununya. Tong patukashmak talea.
Yumawama nibo lora waisha waga shichi.
Chipedwana ni bobo. Tong nabungsha nunyang.
Slimjo puanwan duana?
Tulpada bonk molya gando danago chuchut. Bamul slik mo poda na wanga kun bist mulira best. Ako Chekopa. Moga Shampongpa. Bolawan na Chikni. Kawan na bota. Ayut tagwa. Moga Shampongpa.
Rundi Ichawa Tongbola Johnny Ku. Yumawamanibo Lora Waisha Waga Shichi.
Chipedwana ni Bobo. Tonk Nabung Shanun Yang. Yinkin Kuno Bamuli Rachi Kun.
Muchashak Fakhat.
Bolawan na Chikni. Bamul slik mo poda na wanga kun bist mulira best.
Yikukuno no ba mulira chikun. Tong hit kun chonching. Jedabadawana ni dibobo. Tong nabung sha nununya. Tong patukashmak talea.
Takum justak miki grabel mogo. Kachi chu ay thaudonga. Tulpada bonk molya gando danago churchut.
Ne boboje mata de punage. Dolpi kikiuana.
Yinkin kuno ba mulirachi kun. Tong na bunsha nyunyang. Kavatumpa kun palyiya mokapaata. Kavavulpa mulchi kamana. Bamul slik mo poda na wanga kun bist mulira best. Chipedwana ni bobo. Tonk nabung shanun yang. Kachi chu ay thaudonga. Tonk patogas maktelia.
Kie no namapaole rachikun. Muchashak Fakhat.
Nikava Mubaka.
Ubapatu Kochi. Tong Nongbong Shang Yung Yang. Tong Patox Mactelia.
Tugning chatukune mulerabes. Tongking ba nunotek.
My master, of course.
Yinkin kuno ba mulirachi kun. Tong na bunsha nyunyang.
Yes, that's true.
Bamul slik mo poda na wanga kun bist mulira best.
Jedabadawana ni dibobo. Tong nabung sha nununya.
Tulpada bonk molya gando danago churchut. Moga shampongpa. Bamul slik mo poda na wanga kun bist mulira best. Yinkin kuno ba mulirachi kun. Tong na bunsha nyunyang. Chipedwana ni bobo. Tonk nabung shanun yang. Tonk patogas maktelia.
Ni Bajoni Yola Wish.
Kachi chu ay thaudonga.
Hello, this is the planet of M478. You cannot enter this facility. I would like to remind you that you must return to your ship.
Kavavolpa mulji kumuna.
I do not know. We arrived on this world years ago and begun to prepare it for colonization. That is all I know.
Wanga kundist king balemuraya.
I know about every ship landing in this colony, though only ships on authorized landing pads are under my jurisdiction.
Wanga kundist king balemuraya.
It would be difficult to work with only one landing pad, and a rather small one at that, in a colony this size. Some entities were often referred to by the title of a Sith Lord, and they are usually more respected by other colonists. And I need you to leave this area immediately. I believe they wish this colony to remain hidden.
It's about time you showed, Murglak. Waiting here, waiting for you. I could think of a better way to spend my day.
We team member Rang Thong.
Hey, I'm getting that. I just didn't want to start our chat with a low. The device has been configured to slice into Zerka's systems. The device works perfectly. Better than I expected it would, in fact. But the problem lies with Zerka's terminals. None of them share the same configurations. It's some kind of anti-slicing procedure to make it difficult for guys like me to force my way into more than a single terminal.
Kavavolpa multi gumana.
Nearby, in the floor's droid maintenance room. And since my device can only slice one configuration at a time, you will only be able to access Zerka systems through a single terminal.
Wanamon Kuzmes, Chingapula Molang, Tuderana Prata, Dunko, such a domum toma?
Of course I have. What do you take me for? It was the only place I could find that was both free and out of sight. Then take this device. It's the best I could do. But be warned, this place is already on edge because of the incident. It's not going to be a matter of walking in and slicing away anymore.
Tonki ba non tontek.
This isn't the first time I've heard that from you. Probably won't be the last either. Overconfidence can be a weakness if you let it. Don't make me have to say I told you so. If you walk in there and cause a ruckus, Zerka's gonna be all over you so fast not even your Jedi skills will see it coming.
Kachichu ita bodunga. Tolbabank, wale oganda naru chuchut.
I've already kicked enough Slimo for one day. Let me enjoy my drink in peace. Watch yourself, and watch Sarah. She may seem invincible, but take my word for it, she ain't.
Mogisha ponka bolawana chikne. Pamule slimo podadara nanga kumbist mule rabest.
Oh dear.
Tonghit kun chunting.
Of course. I got this handy program from the Environmental Archon Chamber. It can give commands to any droid anywhere on the planet. Needed to do a little bit of upgrading to be able to override M478's commands, but it was doable.
Dolpi kikiwana.
Thank you. Yes, I always liked playing with computers. Programming used to be a hobby of mine.
Tong haitwam jiji jumblumpa. Nita poe tikito.
Also deactivated his understanding protocols for the time being. It's a program, it can be changed.
Idapatisa batua kachatutonga. Chubakaha chopa chawachiwish yunku. Jodo jidbungarantang.
We'll deal with that when we get there.
Pamule slimo podadara nanga kumbist mule rabest.
Goodbye, Jedi. And thank you for giving me a chance.
Achuta.
And that's it. I will go now.
Chinapala mule, tonki ba non tontek, dunni chachon kun ne mule rabast. Yi ki kun no ba mula draki chichon.
Mule rabest.
Wama kun best chingpala mule, tune rana nu prata donko searcha domatama?
Kachichu ita bodunga.
Verbal! I knew you could make it here. Hurry, we haven't got much time.
As per my master's request, I shall detonate the explosives.
Kun kili no ba!
Thank you.
Slimjo Puan Wan.
Stop right there. Surrender your weapon.
Droids! Droids!
If you attack, we all will. I'm afraid we have to place you under arrest.
That lizard has escaped. Put it down before it kills again.
Understood.
What's going on there?
Some sort of major explosives detonation.
Return to the droid manufacturing immediately. Our efficiency will increase again.
As you wish. Follow me then. Failing to comply will be seen as an act of assault and will be met with force. Official escort droid of the colony of M478.
Ako Jikopa? Gino Mularak Kampiak.
Area off limits.
Kipuna, Bonana Kichu. Kimba Mulera Dwana. Don Kimba no Kudnok Nek.
We'll see about that. That these murders occurred so soon after the arrival of outsiders is suspicious.
Yes, I was informed that the rumors about the fight have been going all over the zone. There are 2 organics, male and female. I've never seen them before. Our masters approached them and told them to stop. They killed our colonists in cold blood. Not just a few. So many of them died, although it was hard to say who was doing what at the time. A woman told the Twi'lek to run off. She was captured. His force field went up shortly after that. We can't know what's been happening since.
No one can get in or out until force fields are removed.
There you are.
Welcome to the colony of M478. What happened to you? Have you been dismantled and put back together?
Model S0Z3, a non-organic machine.
I am CS36, and I will be delighted to assist you during your visit in the colony.
The source of my master signal is located at the other side of this locked door.
The entrance to the environmental zone is sealed. There was some sort of a fight in the central zone, but I do not know the details.
I must locate a key.
What you ask exceeds my authority, unfortunately.
Classification of this entity cannot be determined. I have insufficient data to perform an analysis.
The only thing I can tell you is that the main priority of the colony is the mass production of combat droid units, but if any organic is present in the industrial zone, IS-24 will know about it.
How can you determine that this terminal in question is the one responsible for the operation of the force cages?
Unfortunately, I cannot share your unconventional enthusiasm. We were programmed to serve the colonists.
Your logic is correct. It would be against my programming. I will stay here then, and await further instruction.
The reason behind the lockdown remains unknown to me. Further details on the manufacturing process are restricted.
Any specific location? The environmental zone has been under lockdown. No one can get in or out until force fields are removed. Understood. We cannot attack first unless commanded by a colonist or an Archon. My programming does permit me to attack an organic. Eliminate the Twi'lek, as you wish.
Until then, we will keep it locked, with war units guarding it at all times.
Will do.
Listen carefully while I explain what to do. I know that, and so will you be soon enough if you don't leave me. The shuttle is still in the environment zone. I'm going to use it to get out of here.
Verbal, come in, over.
Master.
Verbal, I need you to stay behind. I want some insurance in case things don't go our way.
Master, may I direct your attention to the Twi'lek at the other side of this locked door?
Don't you have any ideas on how to deactivate a force cage from the inside or something?
Master, what of your hacking apparatus? With the correct modifications, it would be a simple task to gain access to Zerka's records.
And don't forget Sarah Dagana. I'm here to rescue her, and I'm going to do just that. And don't talk to any strangers while I'm gone, regardless of how many upgrades they offer you.
I overload my circuits with worry for you, Master. I really do.
This droid came here from the environmental zone and entered the industrial zone.
What's your point?
It was a murderer. Killed our colonists in cold blood. This droid is working against the colonists.
There are a lot of environmental units in the colony. I assure you, none of them are working against the colonists.
I have recorded it with my own photoreceptors. Shortly after that, there was a fight. If murder goes into the environmental zone...
It might have been organics from the environmental zone. It is believed they have taken over control of at least some droids.
That is disastrous.
So I ordered my droid to report it to the colonists.
I will report to him immediately. I see there is quite a problem. Can you destroy him?
Droids of all designs have specific restrictions hard-coded within their behavioral cores. One of these restrictions is that they cannot self-terminate. However, due to a number of modifications within my behavioral core, I shall be the one to detonate.
Good point.
So someone noticed, after all? And an organic at that? How did you figure that out?
I am a droid programmed to aid in communication and reconnaissance.
Right. I'm assuming someone told you I broke a droid I was supposed to fix? He's fine, by the way. Just a few loose screws on him that I didn't quite have time to finish.
May I suggest a better vocabulator?
Here, with some cables and such. Easy operation.
If you want, I could assign him to work in one of the sectors immediately.
Is there a place in the galaxy where we go when our cores become deactivated? Permanently? Perhaps a rust-free haven for droids, where we are permitted to choose our own lot in life?
Was that a threat? That was a threat!
Oh! Good luck with, well, whatever you're doing.
Area off limits. You can't pass.
I was there with the colonists in the industrial zone when the attack began. They were caught completely unprepared. I overheard the colonists talking about a droid in the industrial zone being destroyed. That was shortly before the fight.
Is that so?
For some unknown reason, one of the colonists tried to prevent me from sealing the gate. He fired at me. My memory core was damaged.
I don't need to know about you.
The force field of the central zone was suddenly raised and the other droids started turning on our colonists.
The Archons will have more details.
Do you know anything about our missing prototype?
He is malfunctioning. He's trying to harm other units.
That is not good. Tell me he didn't install it into himself. It's merely a misplaced and not fully operational droid upgrade scavenged from a part of another old droid, but this part was never designed to work with our standard battle droid model. It caused some unusual and sometimes unstable behaviors. Our colonists scanned it, and, apparently impressed by its destructive capabilities, wanted us to integrate it into battle droid mainframe, with a few upgrades of their own. We're not even sure how it works, but we know it does. It surely helped the battle droids. For a time. Then it started shooting things it shouldn't have, and now the part is out there, somewhere.
I believe you. An unauthorized upgrade has been installed in his mainframe, causing him to act in such an unstable way. It is like he wanted to destroy something. Hand him over to the authorities now.
What are you trying to accomplish?
You have been warned.
You can point your weapons at me all you want, but you will not be able to shoot at me or any other droid in M478.
War units have a higher authority. We can harm another unit if we perceive it as a threat.
Wait, so you lost the prototype?
This is your final warning. Hand over the droid, now.
I don't have it.
You are the one who caused this. All of it.
I'll revert all the changes.
They say it's even got higher priority than Project 42. And I hear we have you to thank.
That is not good.
There has been a critical error in your programming. Surrender your weapon and go to maintenance.
Do you even know how many droids you have destroyed? How many systems you've damaged? How do you expect us to proceed after all the destruction you have caused?
Order would have to come from a superior unit.
I don't care.
Neither did your industrial zone's counterpart.
In the end, it all comes down to the very basics of your programming. You did it now.
If you attack, we all will. You have been warned.
Destroy the rest of the colony so there's no one left to care.
A malfunction.
From here you can access the industrial zone. The environmental zone unfortunately appears to be locked at the moment.
I am under direct orders from ESO-5 not to take any organics into the environmental zone.
Yes, I have heard as much. I do not know anything other than the fact that the colonists were involved. But we cannot be sure about anything until we find proof to support one of the theories.
He can attack organics?
You do not have authorization to meet the Industrial Archon. Follow me then. I'll let you proceed.
We will find it. We have to. We better.
Yes! That's it. Yes.
Statement. Schematics for HK Generation 51. Blaster to accuracy ratio increased by 21%. Durasteel impact frame resistance increased. Conclusion. Halting production. Units are in standby mode, pending further testing of behavior cores and assassination protocols.
That should be all of it. I will go now.
Termination required.
Verbal, come in. Do you respond? Over. Verbal, come in. Answer me, you stupid droid.
Was something required of me?
Verbal?
I used his computer to...
Where is Sarah Dagana?
Don't know where she is. Probably dead. Did you hear? There's a Mandalorian on the planet.
That's great. That really is. You're joking, right?
Ah, yes. It was human sarcasm. One thing I could never understand. I don't require information regarding the specific location of organics.
Please tell me you're joking.
Master, don't be irrational. Currently, the price of Class 9 sensors for the GE3 model are available from Zerka at a rate far beyond your current revenue.
You got what? You've got what?
Why not? You organics will never understand. Anything else you wanted? Please say no.
This isn't the time, Verbal. Listen to me. Access a control terminal and shut down the force cages.
We already talked about this one, and I assure you there is nothing more I can tell you now that I couldn't. Or wait, maybe not. The colonists came here with some droid's head, scanned it, and put everything into my computers. One moment. I will network with the computers and download the proper data. Yes, here it is. Everything the colonists uploaded.
Avoid combat at all costs and sneak past anyone between yourself and my location. I'm counting on you, Verbal. Kobayashi out.
Stop right there. Identify yourself.
That's all you want? Or are you wasting my time for a reason?
Your floating droid has tried to escape arrest.
What about him? I don't know where he is.
You don't look like a protocol droid to me.
Research and Development Center. We research and develop here. Wouldn't have guessed that, would you? I won't even pretend to understand what the difference is, and to be honest, I don't care. You need anything, or can I get back to work?
You cannot continue past this point.
We're currently working on what was called Project 42. I have no idea what that name's supposed to mean, but the colonists were never good with names. In reality, we work on building a droid army here. Really big army, I might add. My job is to find a way to make these droids as deadly as possible. Last I checked, Project 42 was still priority number 1.
I'll let you proceed. Have a nice day.
I never said it was nice to meet you.
The mysterious death is still being investigated.
I believe that to be a threat. I'm not impressed.
No problems.
That's it.
The door is sealed shut and cannot be opened from the outside.
Yes.
HK-51 is ready to serve. Progenitor Unit HK-47.
I suspected as much. It doesn't matter. I know it was you.
Answer, yes. Assessment. It appears I have suffered considerable damage and dismemberment, and my central control cluster seems to have taken several repeated blaster shots at close range. How crude. Still, the loss of my higher combat and assassination protocols is shameful and degrading. Furthermore, I seem to have no discretionary control over my vocabulator, causing me to reveal my true function as an assassin droid of unrivaled sophistication. Statement. I am experiencing an overwhelming desire to massacre everything I see, then to see about destabilizing this planet, then this entire sector.
That you won't! Why did you do that?
Nothing would change the fact that I derive pleasure from ending the lives of others. If that means blowing up planets, slaughtering entire species, or allying ourselves with the Sith, then that is the logical choice.
I'm so shutting you down.
Query. I must express some degree of confusion concerning your actions.
I won't tell a Sith anything.
Twi'lek metaphor.
Jonta bosi likita,
Masisolingada Ntamiasa Grawinoruto. Crude metaphor. It is like watching a tiny mouse in a maze attempting to path its way out. Amusing, but pitiful.
It's time to get out of this place and back to a world where things make sense.
Mucha Shakpangpa.
Hello.
Kimbano Mulina Nadwana.
There were two visitors, a male organic and a female organic. That is all I know.
Kavatumpa Kulpaiya Botenia.
Yes. Although for the most part, supply ships are commanded by the colonists themselves, communications with the facility cease to function. I would like to remind you that you must return to your ship.
Kipuna! Puna Nekachu. Kimbano Mulina Nadwana.
Apparently a droid in the industrial zone has been scrapped. The industrial zone is certainly the prime suspects in a freak accident with a test unit.
A malfunction.
I've heard fighting died down in the environmental zone.
I see no reason to protest.
You are right. Other war droid is malfunctioning. He is trying to harm other units. Consider the arrest rescinded. However, until the conclusion of the investigation, you aren't allowed to leave the planet.
Ufmala Nibo Kurk.
With an escort of an authorized droid. Yes. I am sorry.
Sarah.
Kuyami.
Chipikaza. Tonk Nabung Shanun Yang. Tonk Patogas Mactelia.
Do you need something?
Large amounts of data, sent regularly from somewhere off-world to this colony. It's all encrypted. All I know is that we got it. No idea what it is. Here. Oh, the Quelly sector, with 22 star systems in it, so it's still quite a large area. I'm glad you helped. I'll let you know if I manage to find anything else.
We don't ask about details. They told us to do that and we obeyed.
Take this, a data pad with copy of the schematics.
Verbal, come in. Do you respond? Over.
Master.
So, are you ready?
I would like to gather enough data to perform at least a rudimentary analysis.
I can only see it getting hairy from here on out, and I don't think you'll get another chance. And the line between fashionably late and just plain late is not one we can afford to cross.
Master, your logic is correct.
If Verbal stays out of sight, he might be able to get here without causing a commotion. His legs have been modified to grant him an increased speed of movement, so I'd say his chances are pretty favorable. What are you so afraid of, Mechanique? Don't you remember how many times we got ourselves in and out of situations like this?
Yikukuno no ba mulira chikun.
Bamulara.
Statement. I am experiencing some disorientation. You are the one who followed Revan in the Mandalorian Wars, are you not?
What are you talking about?
Surely our master was quite competent for an organic. Revan commissioned us to be built to be spread through the Republic fleet as communications units to disable any ships that would not follow him to war.
What? No.
Conclusion. I believe the Mandalorian Wars were to beat the Mandalorians, and also to allow Revan to build the foundation of his army.
No! You're lying!
Clarification. Well, yes, perhaps concerning the somewhat dubious morality of the Republic's Senate. That would leave some doubt as to my allegiance.
It doesn't matter. You will die soon.
I was not at Malachor 5, but I feel that I may have been constructed as a result of that observation. I believe that Revan determined that mass slaughter on such a scale may no longer be needed to achieve his aims. Clarification. I meant that I was built as a result of the need for a selective killing machine. rather than a crude mass slaughter war droid.
You never fooled me.
Please use your imagination. I am an illegally constructed assassination droid designed to masquerade as a protocol droid until I reach my target. I was constructed shortly after the beginning of the Jedi Civil War, responsible for certain strategic targets. For some reason, Revan did not feel that the Republic presented much of a military threat. Aside, I am somewhat unclear as to why this was so, but Revan did have a certain biological instinct regarding such things, so I will simply say that there were probably reasons for such an assessment. Revan felt the true war was against the Jedi.
Never. Never!
Revan often assigned me to kill leaders or supporters of certain Jedi so as to erode their will. So my targets were frequently Jedi, or someone close to a Jedi that could result in their corruption or collapse.
Well, we were trying to stop the Sith.
Still, I served well and killed many Jedi.
You're lying!
Assessment. When faced with a continuous series of hard-fought battles, I detected a significant statistical increase in Jedi following Revan over the Jedi Code, a compromise in principles brought about by battlefield conditions.
What?
The emotional weight of war changed Jedi morale, power, and eventually their allegiance.
Don't talk of the dark side to me! A Jedi wouldn't go to Korriban.
Answer. Revan saw the pressures of war on Duxon and knew that even in the heat of conflict, Jedi could be broken, not physically, but psychologically. It is a curious thing to assassinate and wound someone's personality, to assassinate them psychologically.
Yes, that's true.
Observation. That was the lesson of Malakor. Any Jedi involved in the systematic slaughter on such a scale cannot help but doubt and question themselves. I do not believe that the Mandalorians were the true target at Malakor. I believe that the intention was to destroy the Jedi, break their will, and make them loyal to Revan.
No! Never! Never!
I do not know if you examined the records of the deaths on Malakor, but you cannot escape that many of the Jedi and Republic soldiers who died were not Revan's strongest supporters.
What? No!
Observation. I believe that Revan was cleaning house at Malakor 5. What ones did not die became Revan's allies against the Republic. He could be a merciless, efficient killer when the need arose. It really made my behavior core glow. Observation. Revan was a human capable of subtle, intelligent cruelties. He had a strategic mind, and he accepted losses and sacrifices. I do not know when the Jedi ceased to be adherents to their code, but many did not tread cautiously, and many were quite arrogant when facing a droid, as if we were somehow beneath them. It gave certain kills an added pleasure when being underestimated. I served on Revan's side during the Jedi Civil War, yet there was another who came before us and gave us a new purpose. Malak. We were built to capture Jedi. If they cannot be captured, then they are to be killed. We would search the galaxy for Jedi, hunt them, and bring them to our new master. And for that, our numbers were intended to be increased.
Never! Never! No, you will never get past me. You will die soon. I will kill you.
Query. Where are you going?
I'm so shutting you down.
Answer. You cannot. You are trapped here just as I am.
And I uploaded ESO5's memory backup. I locked her. You would need my authorization code to unlock her.
There is nothing to do, except patiently wait for whatever the future has in store for us.
What are you talking about?
This device serves multiple functions, including tracking your position for any HK units in the vicinity, even as we continue this pointless conversation.
What? No.
That is your problem. Personally, I think you should seek help. But you seem to be the silent loner type, unwilling to admit such weaknesses to another.
I will kill you! And I will kill every Sith on this planet!
statement. We do not know what you hope to gain by coming here. It defies logic. Tactical analysis. He is trapped in the facility, unable to get out. Magnetic seals on the security doors to the manufacturing facility. Concerned statement. He has control of the reactor core to the base. He is attempting to shut down the reactor. But that will threaten the manufacturing plant. All HK-50 units stop him. Ineffectual command. We command you to stop. Warning. Communications have been blocked.
Proximity. Alert.
Verbal! I knew you could make it here.
Master, there you are.
Mucha shakpangpa. Inkin kuno bamulri rachikun.
I will stay here then, and await further instruction.
Kavadumpa kopaliaya mokarpata.
You gotta be kidding me, right? Right?
Master, the Sith may not be interested in enforcing a policy within this colony, but Zerka is. If you are caught breaking that policy,
Musha papampa, pola wanachitne, bamuli slemo, boda wanga kun bes mulira rabes.
But how, Orion Mechanic? How?
La boda ni winkis matoma, wana kun bes jingpa marulira, hok jingbang non kek.
I'm always one to suggest ideas when I get them, but this time, I've got nothing.
Achuta, wanga kun pistol pikin kunyana.
I think we're getting a little bit over our heads, people. This structure is massive and all we have are simple weapons.
Bamulara.
What do you mean?
No bamule raji.
Takum justak miki grabel mogo. Kachi chu aithaudonga tulpada bonk molya gando danago chuchut.
the precise location of this entity lies 8.05 kilometers to the west of our present location. I assume this will allow you to escape before you are disintegrated?
No, there has to be another way. Nobody has to die. Not here. Not after all we've been through.
Wongakun pistol pikin kunyana. Tong patogas magdelia. Kapamul pamulchi kamana.
Announcement. Destroy the unit, then proceed to take control of the facility.
This blast door is magnetically sealed and cannot be opened.
Twi'lek, indigenous to the arid planet of Ryloth, generally weak despite their sharp predatory teeth. Query, do you understand what this means?
This door will not open for you. I cannot let the Sith regain a foothold here. That is all you must know.
Shagji locha wana wama? Kava volpa mulji gumana.
King kun shachi king, ni king kun oba mulira jikun?
Ah, hakupa chekopa?
Yin king kun oba mulira jikun, tong na bun shanyunyang.
Proximity alert.
My master.
Chan shak bulara, umrao cheese gaduchi.
My master was dead. I was blinded by revenge. I am so sorry.
Nechi chuna chubaching lordai itaku.
Of course. You're too late. Leave this planet.
Tok ching banokunik.
And so will you be soon enough if you don't leave me.
Kavatumpa ku peliano momakata.
No, I don't have to.
Chan shak bulara.
No. I'm sorry, Master.
Bogra wala no tumbacha. Nechi chuna chubaching lordai itakun.
That's it. I hope I won't regret it.
Slimupotuama?
She died while we were trying to stop the Sith.
Tolbabank wale oganda naru chuchut.
Goodbye, and thank you. I will go now. Too much is at stake.
Statement. I do not understand what you hope to gain by fighting us. You have no chance of victory. I believe this Twi'lek...
Yes, I killed them. And I don't want to do that again, so please do not force me to fight you.
Proclamation. When we dispose of this galaxy, we shall move on. There are organics throughout the universe, and we will murder them all.
But I cannot let you proceed. This door will not yield to you. Please, leave me alone.
Statement. You have destroyed us. We are superior in every way, yet you have chosen to end our generation?
I can and I will, just as I killed the other Sith. And soon you shall join them. Die, Sith.
There has been an explosion at the main behavior core.
Oh no.
Idiot! I'm out of here.
Don't. This door. Don't.
It was a disaster. The radiation has flooded the entire industrial and the central zones. As the result, all of the colonists were killed in a matter of seconds. It is known that most of our masters in the industrial zone were killed almost immediately.
He chose to save the life of another at the expense of his own. Thank you for everything. I'll never forget you.
Que puna! Bunanai chatu chinba muleratawana! Tok chingba no kunik!
Kachi chu ay thaudonga tulpada bonk molya gando danago chuchut. Moga shampungpa.
Ta! Jiyoko kutumpa kupelea! Bunana jaku! Ikun kono bulemarachiko!
Inkin kuno ba mulira chinkun. Tong hait tun kun ching. Ni bobo jimata ni bunaje. Dolpi kiknyunyan.
Jongken no bunka mulera kunkile! Kunkile no ba!
Tong hai tuam jiji yumalith pa ang inkotu. Tolba da bunk walya gando tenago chuchut. Kachi chu ay thahaudunga. Yumalith ka inkotun. Inkin kun no ba mulri rachikun.
Kin ba mule ratwana. Tong kin ba no kunok nek. Kavanumpa kumpialia monokata. Ranga kun bis kin no moruat.
Chibedwana ni bobo. Tonk nabung shanun yang. Inkin kun no ba mulri rachikun. Tonk patogas maktelia.
Kakin chana guana bokon.
Mucha shak pangpa. Inkin kun no ba mulri rachikun. Rundi haudonga kun hunkabi. Unka kun biskang. Bamulara.
Kin ba mulera dwana. Tong kin ba no kunok nek. Kavanumpa kumpialia monokata.
Gino mulira king pajak. Slimo poedwana.
Tong nabun shanuyang.
Haku chekopa. Wi itha nadana itya. Wata yuma kawama huhanik.
Bajoni yola wish.
Wama kunbes. Chinpalamuji.
Yiki kun no ba muladraki chichon. Slim jo puan dwana.
Chibedwana ni bobo. Tonk nabung shanun yang. Tonk patogas maktelia. Mucha shak pangpa. Inkin kun no ba mulri rachikun. Yumalith ka inkotun. Chilo mulra de ne bobo. Unka kun biskang.
Tangabun shan omnang.
Rundi haudonga ku hunkabi. wana kunbes. Jink palamul tonk king ba na konkek. Tung ting ta chun kun nek muli rabest. Kachi chu aitha odunga. Yin kin kun no ba muli ra chikun. Tung ting ta chun kun nek muli rabest. Moga shampongpa bolawan na chikni. Tonk patogas magdelia.
Shachika ton mulaka wata yumaka wamahona nek. Ashantington unumani patoka. Wana kuna best chinga pala multongi.
Muchashak pakat. Jid bungarantang.
Delia, ako chekopa. Chino mulira king pajak slimo poidwana.
Kakin cha na kwat na bonkon. Wana kumbes chi pala mulak tonki pa na nonek.
Cha chiska.
Nikin kun na bule mule raji kun. Chuni yun ni jiji aldwana. Kavafol pa muli kumana. Jishawa anibong kasha chonasi ichua byongbo joni. Nina mamato mule ra. Hakugri kakoda la parabola. Chinga para multonki.
Ronda di hotonga kun hankabi.
Slimjo puanwandwana?
Yikukuno no ba muli ra chikun. Muchashak pakat. Kavadum ku pelio botenya. Bonanai kuchu. Jedi badawana ni dibobo. Tong nabung sha nununya. Tong patukas magdalea.
Kipuna. Yin kin kun no ba mule rachi kun. Tong nabun sha nuyang.
Ako chekopa. Chibedwana ni bobo. Tonk nabung shanunyang.
Kin pa mule radwana. Tong kin pa no kudnok nek. Kava numpa kumpialia monokata.
Tulpada bonk molya gando danago churchut.
Gino mula rakkampiak. Slimjo puanwandwana.
Yinkin kun no ba mulri rachikun. Ako chekopa. Gino mulira king pajak. Slimo poidwana. Bamulara. Munko kun biskang.
Kin pa mulera dwana. Tong kin pa no kudnok nek.
Chibedwana ni bobo.
Kakin chana guana bokon.
Yinkin kun no ba mulri rachikun.
Rundi I chawa tongbola Johnny Gu. Yumawama nibo lora waisha waga shichi.
Muchashak pakat. Kieno no namapaole rachikun.
Chibedwana ni bobo. Tonk nabung shanunyang. Tonk patogas magdelia. Yinkin kun no ba mulri rachikun.
Gino mula rakkampiak. Slimjo puanwandwana?
Takum justak miki grabel mogo.
Yiki kun no ba mula draki chichon. Gino mula rakkampiak. Slimjo puanwandwana?
Ako chekopa.
Itanandayata. Yikukuno no ba mulira chikun. Tong hit kun chonching. Tong patukas magdalea.
Chibedwana ni bobo. Tonk nabung shanunyang. Bolawan na chikni.
Jedi badawana ni dibobo.
Yumalit kain kotun. Chilo mulera de ne bobo. Munko kun biskang.
Tangabun shan nang.
Delia.
Yiki kun no ba mula draki chichon. Slimjo puanwandwana?
Chibedwana ni bobo. Tonk nabung shanunyang. Tonk patogas magdelia. Kawan na bota, ayut tagwa. Tong hai tuam jiji yumalith pa ang yingkotu. Tolba da bunkwalya gandot nago chuchut, kachi chuay thahaudunga.
Tong nabun shanuyang.
Tung ting tachun kun nek mulirabest, yumalith ka yingkotun.
Muchashak pakat.
Muchashak pangpa. Inkin kun no ba mulri rachi kun. Rundi haudonga kun hunkabi. Munka kun biskang bamulara.
Kin pa mulera dwana. Tong kin pa no kunok nek. Kavanumpa kumpialia monokata.
Kieno no namapaule rachikun. Jedi Padawan ni Dibobo. Tong nabung siya nununya. Tong patukas magdalea.
Wama kunbes. Chinpalamuji. Chino mulira king pajak. Slimo poedwana. Wi itha na dana itya. Watayuma kawama huhanik. Haku jekopa.
Bajoni yola wish.
Yikukuno no ba mulira chikun. Tong hit kun chonching. Jedi Padawan ni Dibobo. Tong nabung siya nununya.
Muchashak pangpa. Inkin kun no ba mulri rachi kun.
Muchashak pakat. Ci gratulo da pograshi onneon kompa chintomo muchuba.
Wan dwana.
Tong hai tuam jiji jom lumpa. Nita poe tikito.
Ni bajoni yola wish.
The same Revan who defeated the Mandalorians? How is that possible?
Mogesha ponka bolawana chikne. Mamule slimo podadada nanga kumbist mule rabest. Nechi chuna chubaching lorda itakun. Bogra wala no tumbacha. Wano kuspe ching palamule donke.
Considering you are the former Dark Lord of the Sith, don't take it too personal if I don't completely trust you, okay?
Tong nabun shanuyang.
Yikukuno no ba mulira chikun achuta.
There's a secret you're hiding. You're not just another Jedi, are you?
Chinapala mule. Tong ki ba non tontek. Tuni chachon kun ne mule brabast.
That much is obvious. Still, you aren't exactly what I'd call a divine crusader. There is more to this.
Jishawa anibung kasha chona si ichua byongbo joni. Minamambato mule ra.
Guess I was right.
Bugra shak kunti chiwa mchawa.
Then what do you want to be called?
Kakin chak nawa gawa bakon. Donk ki ba nukunek. Tanga buksha nagnong.
Secret, eh? What is it with you Jedi?
Tuni chachon kun ne mule brabast. Tanga buksha nagnong. Kin kun shin kin. Nikin kun na bule mule raji kun. Shuni yun ni jiji aldwana. Ni bajoni yola wish. Dopayuma pasen lapti non goto.
Wait, it appears we have some company.
Skronki to patslimo. Chi itakanki changa kilikon. Kinba muli radwana ji.
How thoughtful of you, Drix, but put the weapon away. I have a bad feeling about this.
Chiwi aita ka chon chicha.
All right, I get your point. I may be incapable of many things, but looking after myself is luckily something I'm good at. I think we should postpone this until later. Damon Drexel saved my life.
Tava! Yun patisa! Chiwak aita kang ki jiyokaku!
Don't take it too personal if I don't completely trust you, okay? I was once a different Kobayashi. Trust me, You don't want to know. I'll make it a priority.
Uba baska dwana chichopa muska. Kakinja nawabagaon. Chiwa aita kang ki jiyokaku. Kimba nikcha lora kun.
Although, why you'd want to go there in the first place is beyond me. You say there's some kind of ancient Sith cult?
Chachiska. Topa na otovo kasa. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Noba muri rati lai kunka.
Panda. So, are you ready?
Tunni chachon kun ne mule brabast.
Wait just a minute, Jedi. You don't fool me, Sarah. First, I want some answers. I want the truth.
Kunti chiwa mchawa dong abuk shami nonok.
I can see why you want to go on that ship. The kind who come here searching for ancient Sith treasures, but only find death. I've seen plenty of them.
Shuni yun ni Gigi Aldwana. Kava volpa muli kumana?
Kava! Yun patisa! Chiwa aita kang ki jiyokaku! Chachiska. Topa na otovo kasa. Kimba nikcha lora kun.
Rundi hadonga kuhungabi. Wana kunbes. Mucha shakpangpa.
Kimba nikcha lora kun. Kakinja nawabagaon. Uba baska dwana chichopa muska.
Kin kunoba muli rachin kun. Tong hait tun kun ching. Ni bobo jimata ni punaje.
Chopa chawa wisyun kun. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Chuba chi chopa kun wata. Kimba no kun nik dorcha. Tumirana nu frata donko sercha doman toma. Pichage borang turang. Nada chawa yishun kun. Noba muri rati lai kunka. Tahupa botenya go Gigi piti. Chaskronki to patslimo. Gino molirani bubo tonkin ba no kun netsag. Ichuta.
Wanga kun pistol piking kunyana. Tong patogas magtelia.
Ichuta. Kava! Yun patisa!
If Matuska Martas, me on the Jun de los Vaquel.
Kutua Benki! Chiska Nichu! Chaskronki to patslimo!
Kavatumpa kunpa yiya mokapata!
Kon muli slimo po iwanga kun viskin. Kava!
Potaka chibintano.
Uba baska dwana chichopa muska. Kakinja nawabagaon. Kimba nikcha lora kun. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Noba muli rati lai kunka. Patisa! Nikava bubaka! Chiwa aita kang ki jiyokaku!
Kakincha na guanabrakon.
Kimba no kun nik dorcha. Tumirana nu frata donko sercha doman toma.
I feel sick.
If Matuska Martas, me on the Jun de los Vaquel. Anda fornagas dos bendes.
Tung abashun ni chunchi. Tang igwama jiko na.
You guys just wait here a second. I'll go on ahead.
Chinapala mule, tong ki ba non tontek, bona na kachu, kipuna.
You got it. It's open.
Rundi ichawa tongbola Johnny Ku.
Fresh subject with many corruptions that must be purged. I ask of you, what method of torture are you most partial to? I have some good news for you, subject. You are your own enemy, and with my help, you will soon come to realize that yourself. Or perhaps just an old-fashioned joke. The Force lightning? A tough one. You believe that you can withstand my torture? You would be the first. That's right. Scream. Beg for mercy. Why are you interrupting me? Can you not see I am engrossed in my work? You're not a Sith soldier, you're an imposter. And Accident-Ra of the Korriban Academy was murdered as he toiled in his excavations. But you already know that, don't you? You are the one responsible, and I have come here to make you answer for his death with your own blood. Mythos Hunt was murdered, but it won't save you now. Accident-Ra shall be avenged. Foolish woman, it was not a request, it was a statement. You too will pay for the death of Accident-Ra, assassin. I can sense the Force within you. You will not survive beyond this encounter. Mandalorian, your simple tricks may work on the weak-minded, but not a Sith. Jedi.
Kavatumpa munsuru kuplaliyawa.
Takom jus dak miki grabalmogo.
Tua ulwan jiuma.
Hachu apanki. Hakoji kopa?
Tiumpe, dove punta krita gino muleran nipono. E bawatune ruta.
Ikukuno no ba mulera tikun. Mucho shak pakat.
Kaki kraya na chawanga kone.
Mulera best. Slipo puto ama.
Kipuna.
Chipikaza.
Mina mambato mulera. Dopayumas pasen latinongoto.
Come along now. Wait, just who exactly are you?
Model S0Z3. I am a droid programmed to aid in communication and reconnaissance.
Major Herka. I don't know.
You should know better than to place your trust in his strange computer.
Okay. As I've already said, you'll need to confirm the code that I've sent to your communicator.
If the data gathered by my sensors is accurate, the precise location of this entity is within the vicinity of our present location. My sensors indicate that it is the location of the entity that was previously interfering with my scan.
Ma'am? Is everything alright?
Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayumas pasen latinongoto.
Oh dear.
Too much security. There's droids, soldiers, and gun turrets.
I would much like to examine the entity that was interfering with my sensors. Yet I find myself here, with nothing to look forward to other than the rusting of my joints.
Alright, Major, your security clearance is coming in all green. You are not escaped prisoners, but high-ranking officers. As for you, you'd better go conduct your business.
I will stay here then. and await further instruction. Now leave me. I would prefer to apply hope to the current scenario alone.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but you're going to need to go to the medical bay with some...
Kipuna na bonsha. Kavadumpa kupaliaya mokapata.
You're right. You make a valid point. I'm sorry if I offended you, ma'am. You are a Dark Jedi.
This should help a little.
Yikikun no ba muladraki chichon.
There's a half a dozen guards.
Donk ki ba nukunek. Tanga boksha nagnong.
I've unlocked the door and disabled the droids and the gun turrets.
Tunni chachon kun ne mule brabast.
Of course, I'll keep an eye out.
Kipuna.
How do I know you're a Dark Jedi?
Slimjo Puanwandwana.
Are you enjoying the view?
Kuyami. Wanga kun bistkin ba mularag. Choni yun tun jiji either dwana. Kava vulpa mulji gumana.
Don't make me have to say I told you so.
Pudu.
What's wrong?
Tunirama na praka donko searcha. Chupapanki.
Are you sure it's not just a headache? Because, in all honesty, considering your condition, you should still be back in the medbay.
Minamambato mule ra.
But without your command of the Force, you're practically defenseless.
Rundi ichawa tongbola Johnny Ku. Yumawamanibo Lora Waisha Waga Shichi. Kava volpa muli kumana.
But that was a long time ago, Sarah. You know that. Then, the consequence was another coma. Your enthusiasm is inspiring, but overconfidence can be a weakness if you let it.
Kakin cha na guat na bon kon. Wanakumbes chi pala mulak. Tongki pa nagnonek. Tu nikton chun chun ke nemolek rabest.
That's what we're here for.
Rundi ichawa tongbola Johnny Ku. Yumawamanibo Lora Waisha Waga Shichi. Ni bajoni yo lak wish. Dopayuma pasen lapti nungoto.
Revan, who betrayed the Republic and created the Sith Empire?
Bona na kachu, kicha badwang, wanga kum kiba bu mulera, kakin chak nawagawa bakon, donk kiba nukunek.
And Sarah Dagana, or the person I had come to know was Sarah Dagana. Because you know what she was like on the Orion, and I doubt she's changed much since then.
Rundi ichawa tongbola Johnny Ku. Yumawamanibo Lora Waisha Waga Shichi. Kipuna na bonsha.
I'm onto you. Bad news and me go way back. I'm used to dealing with it.
Tanga boksha nagnong. Kin kun shin kin. Nikin kun na bule mule raji kun. Shuni yun ni jiji aldwana. Kava volpa muli kumana. China pala mule. Tongki ba non tontek, tunni chachon kun ne mule brabast.
Personal assassin?
Rundi ichawa tongbola Johnny Ku. Yumawamanibo Lora Waisha Waga Shichi.
Is she really responsible for the deaths of so many people?
Shachika ton mulaka wata yumaka wamahona nek. Ashanti tun unumani patoka. Wana kuna best chinga pala multonki.
I take it back. I take it back. I'm used to dealing with bad news, but this is on a whole different level. Still, I guess Revan's just a bad memory for you now. No use for me to linger on it.
Kakin cha na guat na bon kon. Wana kumbes chi pala mulak. Tongki pa nagnonek. Tu nikton chun chun ke nemolek rabest. Wufmala nibo kurk. Jishawa anibong kasha chonasi ichua byongbo joni minamambato mule ra ni bajoni yo lak wish dopayuma pasen lapti nungoto ni chikonchuva kin lorta ikakun tanga boksha nagnong kin kun shin kin nikin kun na bule mule raji kun shuni yun ni jiji aldwana kava volpa muli kumana.
But even that's changed now.
Kakin cha na guat na bon kon wanakumbes chi pala mulak tongki pa nagnonek tu nikton chun ke nemolek rabest wufmala nibo kurk china pala mule tongki ba non tontek tunni chachon kun ne mule brabast. Jishawa anibong kasha chonasi ichua byongbo joni Minamambato mule ra, hakugri katgota parabola.
The Starforge. I've never seen anything like it. I'm transmitting these coordinates to Admiral Dodonna. Maybe a quick strike by the Republic can cripple the Sith fleet. Message is away. Now we can just wait for the Republic to show up. We should be safe here. We're outside their sensor range. Small vanguard of Sith fighters coming in hard. Someone needs to get on those gun turrets. Take those fighters out before they report our position to the main fleet. Oh, we've got problems. We've flown to some kind of disruptor field. All my instruments are jammed. We've got massive overloads in all systems. I'm picking up a single planet in this system. I'll try and put us down there. Hold on. This may be a rough landing. That disruptor field fried our stabilizers. We're lucky we made it down in one piece. But if I can't find the salvage to make repairs, I won't even be able to get the Ebon Hawk airborne again.
You know, during a rather rapid descent, I noticed the hulls of many crashed ships scattered across the landscape.
The old man's right. This planet's a technological graveyard. I saw dozens of downed ships out there. That disruptor field must have wiped them all out.
You're right. That Sith fleet we saw must have some type of protection against the disruptor field.
I fear Bastila will find the lure of the dark side difficult to resist. She is strong in the Force, but she's also impulsive, willful, and proud, as you once were, Revan. Malak preyed upon her weakness.
Well, if Bastila's on the Starforge like you think, Jolie, then we can't rescue her until we disable that disruptor field.
T3's picking up massive power fluctuations on the ship's sensors. They seem to be coming from some type of large stone structure to the east. It looks like some kind of ancient temple.
Statement. Master, I think I have detected signals emanating from this planet that indicate the presence of other assassin droids.
Patrol droids. They may be programmed to attack on sight. If that temple's generating power, it probably has something to do with that disruptor field.
I just hope we're not too late. Bastila's been Malak's prisoner for a long time. If he turns her to the dark side, she'll join him and the Sith will become invincible.
I know. I can't blame Bastila for being turned, however. She's just so young and doesn't deserve this kind of fate. We can probably find the wreckage of a downed ship along the way. And if we're lucky, we can salvage some stabilizers from it to get off this planet.
I hope everything works out as smooth as you make it sound, Karth.
Well, so do I, Mission. So do I. The sooner we investigate that temple to the east, the better.
Observation. You must have visited this planet as Darth Revan. You were a general in the Mandalorian Wars, Master. I have seen the records of your battles, and I know that your name was one the Mandalorians feared.
You're Revan, and I'll follow you anywhere. It doesn't matter who you're fighting against, I'll be at your side. Mandalorians don't have any great love for the Republic anyway.
Observation. I think Revan pitied you. All your behavior up to this point suggests either strong atonement or confirmation that the atrocities attributed to you during the war were in fact accidents.
Honor in battle, cheating death, comrades in arms. The code of the Mandalore. I'm not even sure what that is anymore. The Mandalorian are gone, defeated by the Republic and swept away by time. Light side, dark side, it doesn't make any difference to me, Revan. I'll stick by you no matter what comes.
Master, the location of the factory churning out these copies eludes me. And regardless, I am a unique model. Why, to think that there would be other versions of me would be unacceptable, and that I am glad I was never in service to Malak. You see, even though those clones are obviously cheap, artless imitations of me, well, they are still me. and I do not know where they would have obtained schematics of my design. They are built from my template. Of that I know for certain. Statement. I mean, I've only just been reactivated, only to find that there are substandard duplicates of me running all over the galaxy. But really, they had it coming.
The Republic fleet is on the way, and we're stuck on this planet until we deactivate that disruptor field.
Okay, let's get moving. The longer we wait, the harder this is gonna be.
Let's see.
I see it, don't worry. According to our info, one crashed just west of here, and the other is somewhere to the northeast.
Revan? Jikachi Revan? Revan? Jikachi Revan?
Oh, this is gonna be fun. Let's get moving again. Keep your distance a bit.
Revan? Jikachi Revan? Dong Kimba no Kunne Blakrekata. Dong Haitsax Wamaji.
Hold on a second. You understood these goggle-eyed freaks? You must have come to this planet and learned the language back before the Jedi messed up your mind. Back when you were still Revan.
Kimba no Kunne Lorda. Yumakun. Dong Hait Wamaji Revan ak Inkotun. Revan no Mulira. Chona Mulira Tonk Revan. Yumakun. Revan Jilai Kunka. Chona Mulira Tonk Revan.
Lord Malak, the Leviathan sensors have detected a ship matching the Ebon Hawk's signature, and it has crash-landed on Lihan. Lord Malak.
Revan.